You're watching CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
And we are following breaking news out of Mira Mesa, where one person is dead following a house fire. It is now 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Chris Crow. It happened overnight in the 10,000 block of Weston Hill Drive, and CBS 8's Regina Rita is live there at the scene. And Regina, what are you learning?
Yeah, guys, well, we just talked to fire officials about 30 minutes ago. They did confirm that one person is dead and 2 other people were able to get out safely. But this is also off of Weston Hill Drive here in Mira Mesa. We can still see firefighters here. They're actually just sticking around here to make sure that there's no hot spots or any flare-ups. But you can see that house straight ahead. That was the home that was on fire about a couple hours ago. Right now, it seems that no fire activity is currently happening. They were able to put out that fire. But again, they're just sticking around to see if they notice any flare-ups. Now, we did notice the Red Cross here. They were actually helping what appears to be maybe some of the residents that were able to get out safely with some of the friends or family members that were also surrounding them. But as mentioned, fire officials did confirm that one person died. They are still trying to confirm whether this person was already dead before that fire started. But that initial fire actually started in that victim's bedroom, is what I'm being told. Fire crews found her in her bedroom, where they believe that fire initially started, with 2 other women who were able to get out safely. I'm told the victim's bedroom had been closed, so the fire did not extend into the hallway. Had it done so, there could have been more victims. But that is some of the latest information that we're getting. We're still waiting from the medical examiner to get here, and it seems that fire officials and firefighters are actually starting to wrap up and head out. They used 2 fire engines. Those were some of the resources to put out this fire. And they did tell me that crews actually had a difficult time when they noticed heavy smoke and fire coming from the rear of the house and the roof. But they were immediately pulling those hose lines to get the fire under control. The amount of belongings and some of the things that was inside this home made it challenging for firefighters. But as of now, that fire has now been extinguished. So back out here, of course, we're going to keep you guys updated. But just as I mentioned about 30 minutes ago, we did talk to fire officials. We'll keep you guys updated with more on this house fire. Right now, it seems like they are packing up and leaving, and they were waiting for the medical examiner to get here. They'll take over this case. For now, I'll send it back to you.
Regina, thank you. 57 degrees out there right now. We're going to see a lot of 50s and 60s this week here, right? Pretty cool.
Yeah, cooler, cloudier this week. We are also expecting a few showers. So that's a bit different than what we saw last week, where the mist and drizzle came down in the morning, and then very quickly by each afternoon, we saw the sunshine prevail. It doesn't seem like we're going to have as much of the sunshine on hand for this afternoon, as we're still going to likely hold on to some of those showers, even into the PM stretch. 64 out along the coast and inland. Mountains are going for a high of 53 this afternoon. 76 out across the deserts. Here's satellite radar. You can see how North County has mainly been picking up on those showers as we start off the morning. Coming up, we'll talk about how much we'll expect throughout the rest of the week, because it will stay a bit unsettled. We'll also talk about the wind on hand. Back to you.
Well, take a look at this. The intersection of Market Street and 33rd is back open now this morning after rushing water from a sheared fire hydrant created this big mess. Happened after 11 o'clock last night in the Stockton area. Still not clear if a driver hit the fire hydrant and took off, but a Hyundai logo was left behind. There is no word on any arrests or anything. San Diego police telling us the water has been shut off.
And in Claremont, a person accused of driving under the influence and hitting a parked car is under arrest this morning. It happened just before 11 last night in the 4700 block of Limerick Avenue. And you can see here, that's the suspected DUI driver's car overturned in the middle of the street. San Diego police tell us no one was seriously hurt. And this morning we are hearing from a dentist anesthesiologist in Vista after a 9-year-old girl died following surgery. Silvana Moreno died on March 18th. In a statement, Dr. Ryan Watkins from Dreamtime Dentistry says, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the tragic passing of our young patient, which occurred several hours after her completed dental procedure. He says that she was put under general anesthesia and there were no complications. He says the patient was discharged in stable condition and awake. However, the medical examiner says she remained asleep on the way home. The cause of death has not been determined and police are investigating."
President Donald Trump now says reciprocal tariffs he plans to unveil on Wednesday are on the table for all nations. Trump also now says any deal related to the duties will come after they begin. Meanwhile, new 25% tariffs on imported vehicles are scheduled to start on Thursday. Trump says he, quote, couldn't care less if car prices rise. The president of United Auto Workers told Face the Nation the move could bring jobs back to the U.S.
Aren't the total solution. Tariffs are a tool in the toolbox to get these companies to do the right thing.
Experts predict Trump's other tariffs also will raise prices and lower demand.
You combine that lesser demand with what we're seeing in the decline of consumer investor confidence, you could well see a slowing of the economy.
A new CBS News poll shows that many Americans are concerned tariffs will raise prices. 64% said the president is not focused enough on lowering prices, while 55% said he is too focused on tariffs. At the risk of a recession, as it increases here at CBS 8, we are working for your wallet. CBS 8's Elizabeth Sanchez telling us how the younger generation can prepare as they enter the job market.
When it comes to your money, your age and stage in life determine how concerned you are. For those graduating in 2025, getting a job is one of the biggest concerns for the young adult age group.
I mean, this is a group that probably doesn't have a lot of savings built up. What they have a lot more of is debt.
But if you're like Claudia Callejas, class of 2023, working as an electrical engineer, your outlook is better.
Well, I graduated from SDSU. Debt-free.
Callejas has noticed groceries have increased in price, and according to a CBS News poll, 59% of Americans report seeing increased prices in the last few weeks.
Consumer goods really going up is the bigger concern during this current recession. That's not necessarily unique to San Diego, but people are going to feel the pain from that all the same.
Economists say it's a good time for the Gen Zer to embrace learning beyond the classroom. That can mean learning about good and bad investments and resources available.
Education around investing and just personal finance, like premises like compound interest and how important it is to save. These types of things can really help put into perspective why taking certain actions at this phase in their life is so important.
For many 20-something-year-olds, buying a home seems unattainable in California, with high housing prices, low inventory, and rising interest rates.
The only thing concerning is the ability to afford a home, because even with the job that I have, it's still in California, it's still an impossible dream for me to even be able to afford a home.
Although the risk of recession seems to be increasing, it could be short-lived, even entirely avoided.
The economy is in relatively good shape. Most Americans remain employed. And that's a big booster for our economy. When that remains the case, when unemployment is low, that keeps the economy growing.
Economists encourage an optimistic approach.
We do what we can, and hopefully things get a little bit better.
Elizabeth Sanchez, CBS 8.
All right, seems to be advice a lot of people following these days. Well, today is the last day to collect signatures to move forward with the process of making La Jolla its own city. A group of people living in La Jolla are spearheading the neighborhood's movement to separate from San Diego. They need to turn in 6,000 total signatures by tomorrow. Now, this could eventually be on the 2028 ballot for voters to decide. And today is Cesar Chavez Day, celebrating the birthday of the labor rights champion. All county, community, and family resource centers are closed due to the holiday. County libraries, public health clinics, and animal shelters are also closed. City of San Diego offices, libraries, rec centers, and pools are closed. Parking meters will not be enforced. Trash will still be collected.
This morning, the Padres are 4-0 to start the season for the first time since they went to the World Series in 1984. It comes after they swept the Atlanta Braves over the weekend.
Took something off that, and Merrill waited for it. Launches one to left field, and it bangs off the wall, flying around the bag, and scoring easily will be Tatis.
How about that? Yeah, score was 5-0 yesterday. Nick Pivetta got his first start as a Padres pitcher and had 7 scoreless innings, only allowing 1 hit. Today, the Padres will host the Cleveland Guardians at 6:40 p.m. They've got 3 games with them, so that has the potential to be 7-0 maybe for a home stretch to start things off. What do you think?
I think we can do it.
Well, it is possible.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anything is possible.
I mean,
That's
here's
right.
what I'll say, is I bet you when we started the season, if someone would have said we would have gone 4-0, there would have been a lot of naysayers.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Especially with the lack of moves we made in the offseason.
right, exactly.
But we've got a good group, as we are
I think
seeing
so.
now.
I think we have a lot to
together.
look forward to this season. Chris, you were saying how many games left?
158.
158 games.
A lot of time.
So it's a marathon and not a sprint. Let's check in on the satellite radar imagery that's showing some showers popping up right around North County. Oceanside down through Encinitas is where the bulk of that rain is coming down as we speak. South of Encinitas, mainly dry. What we're going to see today is about 1/10 of an inch county-wide. There are a couple spots around the county that could pick up on upwards of 2/10 in some cases. Oceanside, Escondido, Julian, those are the main spots we're looking out for, that as a possibility. But you see that green encompassing the entirety of the coast, inland valleys, and to the mountains, which means we're all going to get wet at some point today. But again, this has already come in many cases in the form of mist, drizzle, very light stuff. It's going to be toward the evening stretch that we start to see something a little bit more noticeable and likely more measurable. So rain chances at about 35%. Those come back around to the same range by the time we get to Thursday. In between, we're still going to pick up on some mist and drizzle. So really today through Thursday, it's this unsettled, cloudy, showery weather pattern that we're going to keep picking up on. By the time we get to the upcoming weekend, that chance for rain really starts to drop off to the single digits, gives us a better opportunity for drier skies, sunshine, and even warmer temperatures from Friday through the weekend. We're also going to watch for quite a breeze across the mountains and deserts, 33 miles per hour by about 4:30 p.m. Not too active along the coast and inland overnight, but we climb for our deserts. And then tomorrow afternoon, we'll watch as the county as a whole starts to see some more intense wind gusts, about 20 to 30 miles per hour along the coast and inland. It's all onshore flow. So that's a strong sea breeze that we're going to see moving onshore. Let's check in on traffic. So far, drive times outside have been very non-impactful, with the exception of the Coronado Bridge, where we've seen some slowing. We're still watching for some slower speeds there. From downtown to Coronado, you're down to 30 miles per hour. 8 westbound, 163 northbound, both pretty smooth this morning. Let's check in on your border wait times, where it's a 110-minute wait. Quite slow across the San Ysidro Port of Entry, almost a 2-hour wait. Otay Mesa Port of Entry should take you about 1 hour 40 in total.